In this episode, I'm going to be addressing sort of the elephant in the room, so to speak. That is the business that you created, that you started to give you the lifestyle that you truly deserve. That it's probably actually keeping you trapped and doing quite the opposite to what you hope for. And you may be like I used to, and many of the people I work with, you live in constant fear of key staff members leaving, and you're worried about promoting people. You can't promote people because you're worried about the void that will be left behind, and they're desperately needed to do your core work. And if you promote them into a new role, then who's going to do that work? And if you just take your eye off the ball for just a few minutes, then the plates start crashing around you and things stop working the way that you want them to. And you just haven't got time for systems improvement and systems development because you're just so busy doing all the work in your business. And today I just want to explain how and why you need to do things differently. And today, to do that, we're going to be talking about music, because if you and your team aren't singing from the same hymn sheet, then you're just going to fail miserably. You're going to sound terrible and out of tune, and everything is going to fall apart. So today, that is what we're going to talk about: how to actually get more out of your existing team, how to multiply the best people in your business, to amplify the best work that's being done. And let's go. It's going to be fun. So the question is this: how do entrepreneurs like us, who don't have an endless supply of cash, how do we leverage the best apps, virtual assistants, automation tools, and systems to scale our businesses, increase our profits, and have more time to do what we love to do each day? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answer. My name's Dr. Steve Day, and this is Systemize Your Success. Okay, so to kick off with, I want you to imagine that you are the conductor of an orchestra. You have your musicians in front of you. These are your staff in your business, and you're the conductor and you're sat there ready to conduct them. But imagine there's no music available. You have no sheet music in front of anybody, and it's basically just a bunch of musicians, each playing their own instrument, and you waving your hands around like a conductor does. And if they are absolutely brilliant, if they were absolutely awesome musicians, then they'd probably just come together and make something sound good. They're going to actually just come up, maybe a bit of jazz free play or whatever, and they're going to actually make something sound wonderful. It may not be what you intended, but it's going to sound okay. Now, if you get up there and start conducting them and sort of like directing them, then maybe you'll actually, with their talents, you will actually get to go where you want to go. So that combination of brilliant people or brilliant musicians and you sort of conducting the orchestra, so to speak, then you will actually probably get somewhere. But the reality is you probably haven't got, the best orchestra in the world running your business. You haven't got those top players yet. You've got maybe average people, and maybe you don't know exactly how to conduct them brilliantly because you're still trying to figure stuff out yourself. So what ties all this together in the orchestra world? And I'm no musician here, so forgive me if I'm making some mistakes about this analogy, but the idea is that you are tying what you need to tie everyone together, is the music. The sheet music tells everybody what they should play, when they should play it. It brings all those different instruments together into something that hopefully, as long as people are have half an ounce of talent, will actually sound good. Everyone will be playing from the same hymn sheet, so to speak. Everyone will be playing the same song, and you conducting it just makes it even better. You get the tempo that you want, you go in the direction you want, and it becomes something beautiful simply by having the sheet music to direct everybody. And that sheet music in your business is the systems that tie everything together. It's the systems that tell your staff, your people, how to do what they do each day. But most small businesses are actually basically being like an orchestra without any music whatsoever. And so what we need to do is to figure out how to actually change that. But today's topic was all about, how to multiply the best of what's going on in your business. So what do you do if, you haven't got any systems, you haven't got any music in your orchestra, so to speak? And what we want to do is to take the best of what's actually happening in your business right now. Now, if you're a one-man band, one-person band, one-woman band, whatever, then it may just be you. But it maybe you have a small team and you're going to look to the best of those people or the best of each person. And you're going to then get them to actually document what it is they're doing. They're going to write the music, so to speak, the part their instrumental part for that piece of music for what they do each day. It might not be perfect, but it's what's working right now in your business. It's what is actually happening, because that is what's got you to where you are today. Yes, you want to get somewhere new. You want to progress further and quicker and faster and all the rest of it. But we've got a baseline, and that is your business right now. Now, if you have a slightly bigger team, you may have more than one person doing any particular job. But if they haven't got a proven process, a written process down, then they're going to be probably doing it in their own way. So there's no consistency in the work that's delivered, that your clients may actually receive different outcomes or different results depending on who it is that happens to be on the phone or who's dealing with that problem, that request at any one time. So we need to create that standard. So look to your teams and say, who is the best doing each individual task? Or, if that's you, then it's going to be you saying, how do I do this best? What's the best practice that I currently have? At this point, we're not going to try and improve anything. We're not going to waste time on thinking, how can I make this the best it can possibly be? Because if you had all that time to do that, you would have done it already. What we're going to do is just literally capture, this is the status quo. This is where we're at in our business right now. You're going to write that down, or somebody else, hopefully, we're going to write that down for you if you have people in your team, and then everybody will start doing the same thing. So if you've got somebody new trying doing the work, they're going to do it in the same way. And because everybody's doing it in the same way, you'll start actually improving the same process, instead of what actually typically happens is you end up going in different directions and people improve different things, and then you end up with two totally different processes. So the analogy that I like to use, or this expression that I came up with for how you utilize this to maximize and to amplify the best of people in your business, is that you need to delegate before you elevate. And that is, you need to get your best people to a position where they can be promoted without you leaving a void behind them. Because that void is what sucks people's time in. It sucks your attention. You have a new person coming in that has no real defined guidance on what they should be doing each day. And what they do is they suck resources from all around them. They ask questions. They inappropriately speak to the wrong person. You're speaking to the CEO of the company about something which actually someone much lower down the company could answer them, but they don't know where to find the information. They don't have the access or the guides or the plans or the instructions of what they should be doing. So they're basically desperately struggling and scrabbling around trying to deliver on the value that you're expecting from them as a new employee. They're trying to show that they're worth keeping them around and actually not firing them after the first month. But they're really struggling to do that because you've not given them the instructions, the guidance that they need, and therefore they sort of suck everything into this void that's created. So instead of simply going, you're brilliant, I'm going to promote you to a new position, what you do is you say, you're brilliant, I want to promote you to a new position, but in order for me to do that, you need to be able to delegate everything you're currently doing that's not involved in your new role, in order that somebody else can take that over without you having to train them. And that is how you then replicate the best of what somebody's doing in their role, and then you move them up to a new position or sideways to a new system to create. Because if they're really good at creating systems, you may find people, like I have a number of times, you get them to sort of create documents and systems for everything they do, and you realize, gosh, this person's absolutely amazing at doing this. They just get it. They've created beautiful guides that people can follow, and it's simple, and they did it quickly. You go, right, what I'm going to do is actually going to promote you into position of the systems lead or the systems architect for your business. And you move them from position to position. They get to know the role. They talk to the people who are doing it, and then they basically systemize the hell out of it and then move on to the next one. And that is a super valuable person that you won't actually even find or even know you might even have in your business until you actually start going through this process. If you don't do this, if you just, as I said before, if you try to promote too early, that void, you have to bring someone new in. And all that sucking and all the rest of it that I talked about before of taking away resources, that's one thing. But you'll also have a massive decrease in quality while that person's getting up to speed. But if you have great systems in place, then that person will get up to speed far, far quicker and become a more valuable member of your team in record time. So you're going to capture the best of what's being done, whether that's people staying in their existing roles, where you've got multiple people in the same role. You want everyone to be doing the same as the best person in your team. If you've got a top salesperson, Then find out what they're doing. Record their calls, get them documented, transcripted, and get everyone on the team to learn their techniques. If you've got a great person who's good at customer service, do the same thing. If you've got somebody who's great, who just absolutely nails it with regards to some operational side of your business, then emulate what they do. So get them to document it and then roll it out across your business. And that is the first step of absolutely multiplying and amplifying the best of what's being done. And key thing here, though, is to keep it simple. If you're not super techie, even if you are super techie, in fact, and I talk about this all the time, people they overcomplicate the whole creating systems thing. They try and use fancy apps and technology. They try and over engineer stuff. They try to over automate stuff. They get attracted by all this AI technology and all these bots and all this awesome nonsense. Great, if you've got a big team, a big IT team, and you've got the resources to plow into that in order to get them to set it all up for you and make it all work and maintain it and going forward, great. Do it, fine. But if you're like me, I've got a relatively small team, I've under 10 employees, and I don't really have the resources to put someone full-time on any particular one thing like this, then I just keep it simple. It's like, what am I doing right now? Somebody is, picking up the phone. Somebody is replying to messages on instant messenger. Somebody is setting up onboarding a member of staff or whatever. These are real things that are happening in my business right now. So I don't go, okay, how do I automate every single part of this process to remove the human? That'll come, and it has. We've got lots of automations in our business. I'm not saying we don't use them, but they'll come down the line in the future. But right now we just want to keep it simple. So document what's going on. We only use really three apps to be able to document and create really effective systems. And that is something to document it in, like Microsoft Word, or we use Google Docs. You want a video recording app to be able to capture screen and capture video with the person doing the actual work. And then you just need a task management app to delegate it out. And that's it. That's really the fundamentals, the core of what we teach in our foundation programs. There's a few other bits we use, but that's it. That's how we teach people to remove themselves entirely from their business with just those three plus a couple of extra little apps. But that's the you don't need anything more than those three things. And I'm going to repeat myself. I said this before, but at this moment in time, when you're going into this for the first time, when you're trying to replicate the best of what's being done in the company, you're trying to replicate the best of what's been done right now. You're not trying to improve things. And there's a big reason for that, because if you get sucked into the improvement model too early, or the improvement stage too early, then you waste all your time on improving one process, for example, but at the cost of everything else not even being systemized and at the risk of people leaving and taking knowledge with them. So get everything to a standard, get everything to a level playing field, get everything documented, and then go back and focus on your core systems and improve them one by one. So if you do this, if you've got that baseline, it means now you've got something to compare your staff with. What the best or the expected level is now, and it's now better than it used to be because now you've documented what the best person was doing, and that's what everyone aspires to be. You can then pick out the people that are doing even better than that, and then maybe actually bring in those ideas and those systems, and people are trying out new ideas and stuff. Then you bring that in, and because you've got a documented version of the system, it's easy to update that and maintain it and actually improve it as you do get into that stage as well. And because everybody now is doing the same process, as I said before, you're all improving the same thing. So certain people might actually find ways to improve different parts of the same process, rather than people working individually and they're all improving their own way of doing it. And so everybody, back to my analogy, everybody now has the same, the same symphony sheet music. So they all have their own instrument that they're playing, and they all need to play it at the right time, and they all need to then sync together. And it's the sheet music that does all that. It brings everything together. It tells people what to do. That sheet music are all the systems in your business, and you, being the conductor, are then just left to actually, add that special sauce to the mix to make it actually all just go in the direction that you want to, at the pace you want it to, and be able to actually get to where your vision is going to take the business, because you're now conducting a very well-oiled machine. So that's it. That's my little input for today. It's a bit of a short one. I hope that was insightful. If you thought it was, if you like what you hear, please do hit us a like, or a review, I should say. Give us some stars, and please do share this podcast with your friends and family, or maybe the business owners would be more appropriate. But that would be absolutely fantastic. All right. If you ever have any suggestions or stuff you'd like me to cover, then feel free to ping me a message anywhere on social media. I'm on all the channels, Dr. Steve Day, or hit me a comment, add it into the whatever podcast you're listening to right now, and or in Facebook if you're listening to us on the live in our Facebook group. Then hit me up with suggestions, and I will be very happy to comment at you going forward. All right, thanks very much. Take care. Have a lovely day. Thank you so much for joining me and listening to this episode. I'm well aware there are hundreds of great business podcasts out there, and you chose to listen to this one, and for that I am truly grateful. Hopefully what you heard today took you one step closer to building a successful business so you can share your passion with the world and serve an ever-growing number of people. If you got value out of today's episode, then so will someone else that you know. By sharing with others what has helped you along your way, you will grow your influence and be the guy or girl that everybody wants to know. So please hit the share button right now, and also remember to subscribe to this podcast so you don't miss future episodes. It's impossible for me to cover absolutely everything in these podcasts, so please do head over to systemisedyoursuccess.com right now and download the show notes, transcriptions, and some of my best frameworks and systems for free. Thanks again for tuning in and being a part of this amazing community. Until next time, this is Dr. Steve Day, and you've been listening to Systemize Your Success.